Alright, so it's March 25th, 2022. Right, so we had this strong level push, right? We see structure, right? So we had a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then like these minor market structures, right? And then from here we had a new higher high, we had a higher low, but then it broke the level of support, which then price came down again, came up in a lower high, came back down, right? Then it came up, trying to find that new level of higher high, but it failed, creating a counter trend, right? So in this counter trend, it looks clean on the daily time frame, right? So we had that engulfing variation, and then seeing that we are hitting that MA and it's rejecting, it was clear that buyers are kicking in. So if you go on the H1 time frame, you can see like that bottom part towards this counter trend move, right? You see that price had created this lower low, in which, or no, lower low, which then from here, price created a higher low, then the same thing again, another higher low, boom. It was still maintaining those lower high movements, right? So it was still maintaining that same structure throughout all of this until price got broken right here. Make this deep red, right? Price got broken with these two candles right here, right? So once price did that, it didn't really create a big push downwards. It was just maintaining a level like a 23.6. So just continuing the trend. So that's when price came back down again. But this time, this wasn't a true structure. It's a higher low, but not like true structure in a sense. It's still a 23.6. So if I go here to here, point A to point B, you see it's still a 23.6. Make it clean, right? Boom. So now from here, I see that our price is at a 38.2, in which I don't see an engulfing variation. This is right before all of this happened. But if I go down to a smaller time frame, understanding that the H1 time frame is rejecting all of this, as well as we are on that trend line on the daily time frame, and we're at that exhaustion on the H4. It's like, and it's respecting that level of support as well that was created. So that's from right there. We're gonna go on a 30-minute time frame just to see how price is moving, right? So from here, like, you really can't see price, like you really can't see structure at all. So I'll drop right back down to the 15-minute, just so I can see structure clear, which I really don't. Like, it's really not clean at all. Like, you can see like levels of supports and stuff, but it's really not clean. So that's when I go on that's when I'm on the 5-minute time frame. Mind you, this is before I even started the whole video, so. But this is just like my analysis beforehand. Right, so from here, I've seen that price created this level of resistance, right? It's being respected all the way through until we've seen that break right here. And you can clearly see that price on this smaller time frame was creating those higher low type of movements. So once we've seen that break, all we're looking for is a new higher low, right? So that's where we see on this M5 time frame this engulfing variation. Boom. These three candles. Right? So then from right there, go from point A to point B. I already drew it. I already had it drawn. This line right here. Boom. Right? Actually, let me get thick. Make it a little thicker. Alright. Didn't even save. Alright. So from there, I had like, before we even had this entry, I put an entry like up here, but then like reanalyzing it again, understood that price came up. Then that's when price created this higher low, which I drew this right here, right? Price was creating that higher low in which it was above the MA, which was a really clean entry, right? Entry right there, boom, clean, right? So now we'll go right back onto that H1 time frame, right? And I'll be hitting, I would have hit to like -27 extension, but at the same time, just understanding where we are. So like on the H4 time frame, this was a lower high that was created, right? So if I put the fib from point A to point B, see, so this right here was that 38.2 type of area for sells, right? But we are on the daily time frame having like a bullish pressure kicking in, so that's when I would have been more confident in taking the trade. But just seeing this and understanding that it's like still fluctuating and I'm still below this counter trend line, so it's like I'm still in that selling type of pressure, so I'm not going to be seeing a strong push out to the upside, right? So let me just delete this, go on the H1 time frame, right? So let's go back on the H1 time frame. We see make this where, all right, so on the H1 time frame you see this level of support being created, right, as well as exhaustion. H1, right, boom. So since we see this engulfing variation, that'll be a clean understanding to go on the smaller time frame, right, to get that entry. All right, so what we do now, 15-minute time frame. All right, boom, clean. Oh. All right, so this was that move that we saw in the H1 time frame, seeing that price created that engulfing variation. We see that price then came back down, created this higher low, as well as this engulfing variation. Right, boom. Put a nice clean entry. Really like not too strong of a move, but right. So from there, we go right back onto the H1 time frame, just trying to see if understand that, all right, is price going to break the level of resistance that it was forming, or is it just going to keep respecting and keep dropping down, in which it did right here, right? So let me delete this. Boom. But at the same time, we see that price came back down to this level of support as well as exhaustion, and then you see these candles as well. All right, look at these candles. Huge amounts of sellers exhaustion, right? Just like you already understand that we are at the level of support and exhaustion, so buyers are kicking in this little move. It's not going to be strong of a move, but it's just you're already seeing that transition from that selling market to a buyer's market, right? So once we see this engulfing variation, right, there could have been two ways. Now I'm thinking about it, there could have been two ways. Just understanding that where you are in the time frame and seeing that price is rejecting that level of support on that exhaustion area. Look, you see, boom. So you see price had created this low in a sense, but it's not really like a lower low, it's just a low. But then you see this higher low form, right? So that could have been a nice entry right actually right here. Boom. This entry I wouldn't really take it, only because you have that exhaustion from the buyers. This one is more like you already seen that push above the MA, as well as that has more of a bullish momentum than it does with this one. So same thing, like a 15 pip stop loss, right? All right, so Let's go right back to that H1 time frame. Boom. Alright, so then anything after this candle, this would have been your second entry. Anything after this candle would have been another time for buys as well. Alright, boom. Now seeing that this is a 23.6 right here. A 23.6, so not really true structure in a sense, but you're seeing that price is being exhausted out on the top end, so like you're not seeing an aggressive push. So I would have waited for that actual push, in which you see right here. But first, let me draw the exhaustion. Right. Boom. So this candle right here created that a minor structure, but it's actually a true structure in this case right here. All right, so entry right there, and look at this candle. Like, you have all this momentum. Literally, that sellers couldn't really do anything at this point. So take that sell. Boom. Right. Now you're seeing levels of support being respected and respected and respected. Respected. You see, now once it was actually breaking below it, that's when you would have gotten out. As well as just seeing and understanding. Look at this, like this whole area right here. You have all that exhaustion from buyers, and as well as it closed as a bearish candle, and you have all this bearish momentum. So like, just getting out the market would have been a great idea to do at this point, seeing that we still haven't broken above the counter trend. So that's when we just gotten out that trade, right? But now we see that on the H1 time frame, we did break that level of resistance, right? Creating this 23.6, right? So from here, like, price was just being stagnant, and just I wouldn't be not comfortable. Or actually, I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't be comfortable in this type of market right here. Just it's literally sideways movement. So I would have just waited and seen that it broke, trying to find that true structure. This will be that counter trend. So from here we have that confluence, right? We had a level of support as well as that exhaustion, as well as we are above the MA, and price literally touched the. Here, I'm gonna show you guys. See, so I had previous from point A to point B, right? So that was basically the trend line on the daily time frame, which was being respected. All right, and as well as if we put the fibs, seeing that price did really break that lower high, creating this higher high, right? So now price is at this higher low, and if we place the fibs from point A to point B, right? This is from that previous fib, so we're still projecting to this same area, but this is just towards another transition of the market, right? So we see here annotating 61.8. So that's already 4 confluences that we have. Should be more than that. We already have one, that break of resistance, as well as creating that new higher high. It came right back down, creating that higher low at the exhaustion area, at a level of support, and as well as at that red trend line, right? So that's already 6 confluences, and just seeing that price candlestick analysis, price is rejecting, and you're seeing all that selling exhaustion at the bottom end. So that was our cue to like understand and see the market. We're just seeing price in general, and that's what you see here. So let's go on a 5-minute time frame, so you can actually see that market structure. Boom. So you see price created that lower low, it came back up creating that lower high, but you see that price is respecting this level of support. Right? And you're seeing it creating that higher low. So that's when we see this engulfing variation, as well as look at this bullish momentum. Right? Boom. Beautiful, beautiful. So, oh, my bad. Buy. Great buy, great buy. Right. So now we'd go on the H1 time frame. All right, and you're seeing that even though we are below the MA, but we're still seeing that momentum. We're still in that market structure momentum. So we see that this is a higher low. We've seen that bullish, bullish, bullish. So in this area right here, I wouldn't have gone out because that was basically a level of support being respected on a smaller time frame. So if we went on on the 15-minute time frame, I wouldn't go on the 30-minute. That's way too close to the H1. So the 15-minute time frame looks a lot better. See, so like right here, price had this little support, boom, being respected, creating another engulfing variation, which would have been another buy. Right, and it's hitting that 38.2 level. Great, and you're seeing that exhaustion. So same thing, same TP. Right, just seeing and understanding that price is transitioning from that seller's and to buyer's market. Right, so if you go on the H4 time frame, look at all that momentum kicking in, boom, boom, boom. Right, so then from right here, we finally broke above that MA as well as this counter trend, and we just broke this actually on the H1 because it looks a lot cleaner. So on this H1 time frame, we did break that level of resistance, creating this new higher high, right? So then from right there, we're waiting for price to create a new higher low. We're trying to find that new transition. So from right here, we already have this trend line right here from point A to point B. Right, boom. So let's draw another level of resistance. Right. As well as this exhausted area. Alright. So from here we're seeing that price is creating that counter trend move, right? And we see this engulfing variation as well as this exhausted area. Boom. So from right here we had a level of support being respected. I would say more here because that's where like that official engulfing variation formed. So you have all of this on the EV. Yeah. Alright, so 15-minute time frame. Boom. So we see here price is coming down, right? And it came back down to that same area, but you see it broke that level of support. So it was kind of being in this situation, you're kind of like, in my opinion, I would have been more like, I'm not taking the buy just yet. I'm gonna be more patient, right? As well as just place the fibs to actually get a better understanding of where we are in price, right? So 15-minute time frame. Alright, so just seeing all this and seeing that price, all of the beautiful, like right here. It came up, getting exhausted at the bottom end, right? And it came up again, and you see all this, but you really can't see structure. It would have looked best on the M5, but nah, I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take it. But you see this level of resistance being broken, right? Boom, 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 boom. So from this point, we are seeing that price did create a 38.2. Spread place to fibs. Point A to point B. See, it hit 38.2. So, and just seeing that price was failing to break, right? Just put that nice little counter trend, boom, as well as that exhausted area. So anything that's below this counter trend would not be good for buys at all, right? Unless you like how you see here, how price is respecting this trend line as well as this exhaustion area, all right? And you're seeing that you're at that level of support, and we're at that 61.8 again, and price has been rejecting this area and just pushing above it. That would have been more of like a confidence type of trade, just understanding your technicals, right? So my TP, black. Okay, so from here, we had a level of resistance. The reason why I say it there is because price didn't really break, you know, there wasn't two bullish candles. This was random. Same with here. All right, so from here we see if we put that new fib from point A to point B. All right, so we're at that exhausted area and we're hitting that 38.2. Let's make it a lot bigger. All right. So let's go on the M5 because like all of this can't, like you really can't see structure. You always want to see details. If you don't see no details, then literally if it's too much detail, go on a higher time frame. If it's too little detail, go on a smaller time frame. Like on the M15, there was really no detail at all. I bet you on this H1 time frame, because I feel like I'm way too far back in price. But on this H1 time frame, you're seeing all of this. Wait, hold up, mean. So literally in this whole area, this is what you'll see like on the H1 time frame. You would have a lower high, it came back down, created a lower high, it failed. All right, that's where you see this candlestick exhaustion right here. So it'll be this higher low. All right, you see price came up, created a new higher low, which would have been this candle right here. All right. So then once you've seen this push up, beautiful entry right there. 15 pips. All right. Delete this, delete this. All right, so you're seeing this push up, but you really can't see what price is doing. So let me delete this fib. All right, so the best time frame to be on would have been on that M15 time frame. All right, so all right. All right, so then from here, we seen that price was coming up, and boom, it came right back down. Respected this level of support. Let me delete this fib. It's like really getting in the way. As well as let me make this smaller, make that one smaller too. Boom, boom. All right, so from right here, we see that price created this higher low. And since it's in this like this range and it's already in that little exhausted area, I really wouldn't want to buy it in a sense. And I've been just seeing how the H1 is looking too. See it's being exhausted at the top. So all I would have to do is just maintain on a smaller time frame, see what it's gonna do, and then if it breaks, then it breaks. And if it keeps going up, then I'll just keep holding it, right? So we see that price then came back down. So what I would do is nice little counter trend, or not counter trend, that trend. Boom. So from here we see price was being respected all the way through. All right, boom. But at the same time, you're seeing price slowly and slowly create those lower highs, slowly and slowly. So like you're already seeing that, how do I say, like that momentum is shifting from that buyers to sellers again. And then we see here, we have the trend line, we see that break, right? But we're not gonna be checking the trade out too fast now. Like, no. It's when we see this break, we see that price was getting exhausted right here from buyers, as well as this candle right here got way too exhausted and it closed as a bearish candle. That's where we have gone now, as well as with this one, right? And what you see, price then came back down. So if you want on the H1 time frame, right? So we're still in this range. So if we had price then come to that same area of exhaustion, right? That same area, so let's put it to H1. And we see that price was respecting this level of support, right? You see that price got exhausted. We're above the MA, and if you go on the daily time frame, let's see like the momentum of that previous day. All right, so we're like in this whole transition right here, all of this, right? So we already had this candle. Look at all that selling pressure at the bottom end, or no, my bad. That selling exhaustion from the bottom end, and you see that bullish momentum kicking in. So in that area would have been great for buys. Just seeing and understanding where we are in the higher time frames, and just seeing how this candle is forming. So we put it on the 15-minute time frame again. Like you always want to go to a smaller time frame. Once you see price getting exhausted and having that confluence, bro, you getting in right there. Look, all of this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful right there. So you could say you could have entered right here, but at the same time, like, let's go on the 5-minute time frame just to see and understand what price was doing and how it was forming. Alright, so boom, right here. You're seeing price respecting that little support from both ends, right? Then you're seeing price getting exhausted. You could have had your entry from right here, which would have been perfectly fine. Just seeing where you, just reminding you where you are in a higher time frame, right? And seeing that it didn't create a lower low. This is literally a higher low. It's literally higher than the lower low. So just First entry right there, take profit, that black line, right? Boom. And then you've seen price. Let's go on the 15-minute time frame. Right, 15-minute time frame. Just to see, oh no, this way. Just to see how price looks. Kind of on the H1, it looks way too condensed, especially like in this type of range. This would have been more like a consolidation type of range, but just understanding structure and understanding the structure points, where you chilling. So from like right here, you had this area of exhaustion, as well as this level of support, right, on the M15. Random. Let me delete this one. Alright, so if we go on the M30, let's see if we can see if price looks clean. And if it doesn't, then we'll just stick to, yeah. So all of it was just being respected, especially on the M5. If you go on the M5, we can actually see price a lot cleaner. So boom. Even though you see it looks like price broke below, but at the same time it really didn't, because it had a level of support right there, which is being respected, creating this engulfing variation. Right, clean. Take that buy. Actually, no, this is, yeah. Could have put 10 pips. 10 pips, take profit, that black area. Just seeing that price has been rejecting this whole area, right? So we would hit TP on both these trades, and then same thing again. On a higher time frame, you see what it's doing. So on this time, like, all you see is just one big candle. Like, you don't see structure, you don't see like multiple candles to make this big candle, right? So that's why I say you want to see clean structure. You don't want to be seeing no too much like broad candlesticks. Like, that's, you're not seeing structure, you're just seeing candles. But all right, so like, you're gonna look on the M15, it's hitting that area of that trend line, as well as the area of exhaustion and that level of support. And on the H1 time frame, it was respecting the MA, right? And then on that previous daily candle, you already seen that exhaustion from sellers. So you're already seeing that price is respecting that buying pressure, buying movement. All right, so we're right here in this candle. We're in this candle that would be forming at this point, right? So look at that previous candle. Look at all that momentum with all that selling exhaustion. If you go on the H4 time frame, see, you already had this engulfing variation on the H4. So it's like you're already having confluences for buyers to get in. So why wouldn't you take the trade? So that's what we see on the M15. Yeah, that engulfing variation. Clean. Right? Boom. Now, what would have gone on? Tether entry. No, I like that M15 better. Yeah, I like it a lot better. Alright, so this could have been two ways. Only because you're seeing a higher low even though we did say that WTP, but you do see that higher low being formed, as well as higher lows. Higher lows, so you're already seeing price pushing up to the upside, right? And especially on the M5, I didn't really see no clear. Let me see. Yeah, so it's like I placed the fib from point A to point B. You see, this was just a 23.6. It wasn't really true structure until you seen this. And it's hitting an area of exhaustion as well. Right, and then you're seeing that flow pushing in. So you could have had another buy right here. Why? Because you see this would have been the higher low. You had that lower high on a smaller time frame. And you see that higher low being formed. Boom. And you see that push up. And that momentum on that candle looks really great too. Could have had a great 10 pip stop loss. Right. And just seeing price push up, push up, push up, push up, push up. And then from right here, you see that break of level of support. It's gone out right here. Clean, clean. All right, so same thing here. We're saying price came up, but if you see structure, that's not really a 38.2, it's a 23.6. Right? But then we see here price created level of support. Alright, respecting level of support being exhausted from that bottom end. That's just showing you that there's a lot of buying pressure. Oh, right. So all we're doing is just waiting and seeing. Just waiting and waiting. Because it really could have just hit 38.2, but you're seeing candles being respected versus respecting this level of support. Then we have that engulfing variation, right? So what we do now, instead of going on the M15, we're going on the M5. Because if it's a 23.6, on the M5 is usually the best for analyzing. That like M5 and 15. So let me go to that area. Alright. So like right here. See, you have this break of resistance right here. And you're already seeing price creating higher lows. Right? Like you're already seeing the momentum shift. So from right here, boom, you see this level of support being created. Right? Now just seeing all of this, we would just check like right here, see how it looks like it broke. From right here, we're going to M15 to actually see if it actually broke or if it actually did respect. Just understanding that that is a smaller time frame, stuff like that happens. So look, see, so like on the M15, price was being respected all the way through, and you see this major engulfing variation. So your entry would have been right there. Beautiful. Stop loss. And seeing that we did break above, we did break the level of resistance, our TP would have been hitting negative 27 extension. Clean, right? Boom, and you see price just pushing up again. It's actually simple though. I actually like doing this. It's so fun. It's fun. All right.